Today, I started a Hardcore Minecraft SMP with a twist. Everyone has superpowers, which they themselves got to handpick. I have an elytra, which I can't take off, and this is how it went. When I first spawned into the game, me and my fellow member, ThatGuyNathan, went and gathered some wood. But I quickly realized that I needed food. And now, I have permanent hunger. So I ran to the nearby village and managed to grab some food, just moments before I starved. Right after harvesting all the crops, I ate almost all the melons, getting me to full hunger. And I wandered around the village, where I found a house that had burst into flames because it generated on top of a lava pool. But more importantly, I found Nathan again, and I managed to gather some potatoes. And I encountered another friend on the SMP, Mr. Meow. Mr. Meow can fly around like in creative mode, but he has permanent hunger, just like me, and weakness. But Mr. Meow's hunger can be cured by drinking a bucket of milk, but it only cures it for a few minutes. And then Nathan is a healer. He can heal any players within a 3-block radius. He has an extra row of hearts, but only during the day. And he can revive dead players, but it requires a lot of resources. Anyways, I continued exploring the village and found a leather worker's house. And I found a leather helmet and a leather chest plate. You know what I'm incapable of wearing? After being very disappointed, my spirits were quickly lifted when I ended up finding some sugarcane. I may have said I have permanent hunger, but that was a lie. Well, kinda. My hunger is permanent, but if I have sugar, I automatically consume the sugar, replacing my hunger with speed too. This meant finding sugarcane was amazing for me, so I started to run around while gathering wood and having a blast. But before I even realized I had run out of sugar and I was back to starving. Plus it was nighttime. Already. Luckily I had landed somewhere near my brother Julian's shelter, so I decided to stop by for a little while because I was being destroyed by mobs. I hastily slipped into Julian's shelter and I gifted him the leather chest plate. I also started to cook some potatoes, which I'd gotten, which both gave me cooked food and gave us some light, because we didn't have any. I quickly noticed the shadow of the mobs blocking our only exit, so I made a wooden sword and tried to fight them, and I succeeded to some degree. The only problem was it was still night and I was consuming our baked potato supply faster than my blood could pump. On top of that, we were running low on fuel and really fast.
I'll sacrifice my last planks for you.
Luckily, we were still able to cook the potatoes faster than I ate them. So after we got a bunch of potatoes, Julian gave me some new tools and we decided to take a risk. Julian chipped away at the small cobblestone wall, revealing a cave system, which we both entered. We went in to try to find iron and coal and possibly diamonds, but unlikely. And after just a few seconds, we found a pocket of coal. Julian went over to mine it, and he ordered me to protect him while he was mining. But the worst happened.
So if there's a mob coming, you try and... What? Oh crap! Oh!
While my back was turned, Julian fell into a deep hole under the coal. I had frozen with shock. But before I could even think, I got hit with a poison potion from a witch. I was about to fight back, but I know this would be too risky. So I ran deeper and deeper into the cave in an attempt to get away. I ran and ran, but soon I hit a dead end. So I mined into the wall and blocked it behind me. I had no other way out. So I tried to call for help, but nobody came. Fortunately, though, my health had gone back up. But unfortunately, as soon as I tried to mine back into the cave, the witch hit me with another large dose of poison. So I was back on my last leg. I really thought the witch would have been gone by then or wouldn't have followed me all the way. I also quickly realized nobody was coming to help me. So I spent multiple minutes straight mining all the way back to the surface. And I managed to escape those caves alive. But sadly, Julian didn't. Upon reaching the surface, I was right next to the Savannah Mountains. They were astounding. This variant was rare, and they were right next to sugarcane. I ran over and gathered it up. I also tried to get some loot from underwater ruins, but I was unsuccessful. Though when I came back up, I found this neat little floating cactus. And I also found 4-block sugarcane, but I didn't pay much attention to it. Instead, I went and planted the sugarcane to grow more. After planting my sugarcane, I explored the nearby area. The mountains were really nice, and I ended up digging a small little cave shelter once the sun began to fall. I was planning on living here for a while. And hey, look who came to visit me! It's Mr. Meow! Seems Nathan gave them a totem, which he spawns with 2 of. Anyways, my food had been cooked, so I felt it was a good time to head back outside. I tried to drown this zombie because if a zombie turns into a drowned, it drops all of its armor and weapons it's wearing and holding. But Meow decided to help me, despite me telling him a billion or so times to stop and to not kill the zombie. I still got boots and leggings, but look at this, they're almost broken. Anyways, I went to go mine some coal for torches, and hey, look who else came to visit me. It's Nathan. Now that the whole gang's back together, we decided to explore some of the local caves. Everything had gone well until this happened. Oh crap! I had nearly died. Again. But luckily Nathan could just heal me because he heals any players in a 3-block radius. Also, apparently Nathan is already rich. Sadly though, despite our strong armor and weapons, Nathan and Meow both have weakness, so we can't deal much damage. And all 3 of us had hunger, so caves weren't too ideal for us. We ended up leaving the cave after a little bit, but I realized a problem. I was out of food. I hurried home and managed to grab some river salmon just before I starved, but that was just barely enough to keep me alive. So I went and grabbed sugar from my farm, but by that point I was starving again. I panicked. I had 0 food nearby, and my sugar wasn't helping me. It just sustains my hunger, it doesn't recover it. So I started calling for help, like a while back. And luckily this time, help came. Mr. Meow managed to airdrop me some bread, just in time. I realized that if anything was going to cause my demise, it would be hunger. Nathan also came by and healed me up, and I was able to cook some beef they gave me in the furnace. After almost dying for the 3rd time, Julian's death was back on my mind. So I gave Nathan the task of making a meeting table where we could discuss reviving Julian and what laws we should set for the SMP. You see, Nathan can revive dead players, but it takes a whopping 2 netherite, 4 diamond blocks, and 1 totem, which isn't very cheap, especially in the early game. And the only thing we could mark off the list was a totem, because Nathan spawned in with 2. I gave Nathan some cobblestone to make the meeting table, and I went back to my small house to finally make some iron armor, though it was only boots. Afterwards, I decided to explore the mountains. I tried to glide across the valley, but this was a huge mistake. I fell and my elytra opened late. At this point, it was getting dark, so I tried to get up by Nathan, but I was beginning to starve again. Why? And Meow was a long distance away because he was going to get beds. I called for help, but he couldn't come. So I quickly tried to bridge over to Nathan to get food. But my hunger hit 0, and I made a fatal mistake. Wait, no! Oh crap! No! So I guess I'm dead now. Just have to hope Nathan and Mr. Meow can revive me in the next week or so.